What you don't like about me is that I'm rich. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. You know where you were born? In the gutter. You put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time. You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
I will be the World Wrestling Federation champion. And what you gonna do, Macho Man, when the whole world full of Hulkamaniacs destroy you?
Join hosts Justin Greenberg and Dominic Arbolino for The Squared Circle, Mondays at 4 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay. Go.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
I want to talk about a Taco Bell.
It's good. Taco Bell.
Tragedy struck in Alabama. A Taco Bell burned down.
Oh, no.
Rest in peace, Taco
Say
Bell.
it ain't so.
So a lot of locals were shell-shocked, obviously, because it was a great place where they would go ahead and just enjoy food.
Guessing this was,
food.
probably, you said it was in Alabama, right?
It was in Alabama.
It's probably like a small town. They probably only had one Taco Bell.
Exactly. They might not have a whole bunch. Two roommates decided together they should go ahead and hold a memorial for the Taco Bell.
Okay, babe.
What?
I can't get my cheese quesarito anymore.
And let me tell you, it was Nacho Ordinary Vigil.
Oh, come on. Go sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Talking sports, talking NFL, though not really football. Talk about protesting and the Players Association and the National Anthem and the NFL, coming up with this thing. You know what?
Silly.
It was silly. They should have let it go and waited. The NFL was so afraid. The problem with with the NFL, what happened this year or this past year, is that their ratings went down. Not having to do anything with this kneeling has everything to do with the fact that there's
some people say it has some sort of an impact, but
it didn't.
It's hard to measure.
You want to know why?
Because the people who say they're going to not watch football probably were watching football, but the ratings did go down.
The ratings went down because there's too many games that aren't in the national system. Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, that maybe shouldn't be shown as the individual game,
right.
The only game of that time. So people might not watch it, and then they say, oh, okay, and oh, look, the ratings gone down. Ratings have gone down on everything, and not just football. All sports have gone down.
Can I tell you another reason why the ratings have gone down?
No.
We do a radio show.
Yeah, go. Don't
say
ask,
no. What do you say no?
Just go.
Ridiculous.
Go, idiot.
NFL Red Zone.
Well, that's Red Zone too.
Because fantasy players, they don't want to sit there and watch 3.5 hours of football. They get updates on their phone. Oh, hey, somebody scored. Oh, hey, that guy's on my team. Great.
That's
perfect. That's all I want. That's all I need.
Something else.
I can go do stuff with my wife and keep her off my back because now I'm not watching football. But, hey, I'm still keeping up with my fantasy team.
That's true.
That's a big one.
That is true. The Red Zone has changed. And, of course, when legalized gambling hits in a couple of years, we talked about that
probably will kick ratings up.
It probably will.
Because that's especially for football, that is going to be, not that people aren't betting on football already, but it's going to become even more widespread.
Right.
So that likely will lead to an uptick in ratings.
I mean, I personally hope this whole thing with the national anthem just sort of fades away. Will it? I don't know.
No, it won't, because there's going to be an appeal.
That's what I'm talking about. I think there's going to be appeal, and I want to see how long it takes, and I want to see, does it happen during the season? Does it happen before the season? After the season? That's what it's going to be.
You know what we got to do now? I was just thinking about this. We got to try and get Peter King on.
The writer or the
politician.
I personally like Peter King, so
I like him too. I liked him until he made this ridiculous comment.
He wanted to run for president in 2016.
Oh, that's an overreach right there.
Well, he thought about it.
That's a real overreach.
He thought about it. Anyway, let's quickly talk Yankees.
How about those Yankees?
First of all, Old Timers Day has been announced, and
Yes.
you know who's going to be there?
Oh man,
There's a big story in today's paper.
I felt old when I saw this.
Well, first of all,
Who?
Jim
In today's
Bouton.
paper?
Yeah, today's paper. Jim Bouton's going to be there.
I knew about this days ago.
But there's a
How is this
story. He's got like this weird beginnings of dementia, and his whole family, including grandkids, are going to be there, and the grandkids have no idea who Jim Bouton is.
Oh, he's Grandpa.
He's Grandpa, and they'd
It's
also
like 79, which is stunning to me.
And Ball 4 turns 50.
Probably, yeah.
In like 2 years.
Okay.
He's writing another extension. He keeps writing extensions to the book.
Hey, do what brought you there.
And he wrote a great book about the Pittsfield Mets, about building stadiums and how building stadiums really don't do anything. It was a great book.
Doesn't.
It was a great book. I think he put it out himself. It was like...
What do you call it, Ball 5?
No, it wasn't Ball 5. I forgot what it was. I found it.
I took a shot.
And I have it. But anyway, yes, you might feel old. I'll let you read those players, Tim, because... You know.
Old Timers Day will be June 17th for anybody interested. It's probably either sold out or very close to sold out. First-time Old Timers will include Andy Pettit, oh man, Jason Giambi, and Nick Swisher.
Yes.
So Swisherlicious will be an old timer.
And Aaron Boone will be an old timer.
Yes,
too.
Aaron Boone will be celebrating his first old time. You know, Aaron Boone, he hit the legendary home run against the Red Sox. Aaron Boone, I didn't even realize this, played for the Yankees for like 3 months.
Yeah, he was only there for that.
3 months.
Yeah.
I kind of figure, all right, I knew it was short, but I kind of, for some reason, it clicks in your mind like, a year or two.
No, you know what happened?
3 months.
He was playing basketball.
I know, and
he hurt his hand.
They brought him over in a trade.
Right.
And
that's why they got A-Rod.
Played basketball, messed up his ankle or his knee. I forget which. I think it was his knee. And then that's what caused the A-Rod trade. But I just figured it didn't seem like that short a period of time that he was with the Yankees.
He was very short period.
But yeah, very short. So and of course, speaking of old, Whitey Ford will be in attendance. Bobby Richardson, Dr. Bobby Brown, and of course Reggie Jackson.
Jim
will be
Bouton, of course.
Jim Bouton, like you said.
Reggie
and
always
Ron
shows
Guidry.
up, and Guidry shows up, and no more Yogi Berra for him to drive around.
Right, of course.
But
no Derek Jeter.
Well, he's not ready to come back yet. He's not.
It could be a while.
Is Bernie going to be there?
I
don't remember seeing Bernie.
I'd have to look at the list.
But
I don't. Probably.
I don't expect Derek to show up for a few years.
I'm convinced, and this is just me, but I'm convinced that Derek Jeter will not show up to Old Timers Day. Number one, as long as he owns the Marlins, and number two, until he can be introduced as the greatest living Yankee. I really think that's part of it.
It's his ego.
Jeter's got some ego,
but
he's very much Joe DiMaggio. There's a lot of similarities with him and Joe DiMaggio that people have mentioned it and they kind of say it. It's way more there than people actually acknowledge. Trust me on this.
Where did I just read this? That I forgot who Joe DiMaggio punched someone in the stomach because he wasn't announced the greatest living player. I forgot it was. I forgot who it was. I read it. Oh man,
he wouldn't have punched Bob Shepard. I can tell you that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Shepard.
Bob Shepard would have taken a swing at him.
But I think Derek will be there. But I think for anniversary moments only. I don't think he's going to be there every year.
It's tough now with him being the owner of the Marlins.
Then again, they had a picture of him with his wife and his kid walking through the city the other day. So
TMZ made fun of him.
Yeah, so
because his stroller was worth only $550.
And
550. Apparently, it was like the low end of whatever brand it was. I don't even remember. But they said that they were higher end strollers, and I was like, $550 for a stroller. I think the kid is all right. Don't worry about it.
I think so too. So that's going to be one thing about the Yankees. They always throw a great old timers game.
Absolutely.
They know how to do it. They do have the history, but they know how to do it too, and they tend to invite the right people. They always invite the wives.
Well, now
of the past Yankees too.
Yeah, now we're into the 90s. I mean, it kind of got to a point there where it was kind of slowing down, and everybody was getting old, and it was kind of like there was kind of like there was that lull around the 90s, the 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s, where it was kind of like, all right, there were some really bad teams there. But now, those teams of the late 90s and early 2000s, all of those guys...
It's been about 23 years since the 96 team. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's 22 years. But you're talking 20 years.
Yeah.
And, the late 90s still feel like, for a lot of people, I think still feel like 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, it does.
So now you're talking about all of those guys, though, from those teams. They're all in their 50s now.
Yeah.
So
how old's Reggie now?
Reggie's like up there.
Yeah. He could probably still hit a couple of homers, but
Reggie will take a couple swings.
I'm sure he will,
and he'll be going for the fences. Believe me.
Why not?
But think about it. All right, you got Giambi, you got Swisher. First of all, Giambi, I'm curious to see him. He might show up and be like 150 pounds now.
no more steroids.
But Swisher, he's going for the fences,
right?
And he's like, what, 40? He's barely out of his playing days. He's going to be swinging from the heels.
Sure. We should say the Yankees are in second place, one game behind Boston, though Boston has a couple of games in hand.
Yankees have fewer losses, but they're in second place.
Yes, and the Mets are over 500.
Barely,
25 and 24, 4 games behind Atlanta. Good Lord, Atlanta's just come.
Tell you what, Atlanta's doing the work.
And Phillies is doing good this year, too. Miami's a joke, 19 and 33.
Mets are 3 games behind the Nationals, 4 games behind the Braves.
Yeah,
who they play tonight, starting the day-night doubleheader, or actually today, I should
Mets
say.
Mets play today. They play
the Braves. Day-night doubleheader.
Day-night doubleheader.
Yes, brother. All in the notes. All in the notes, brother.
I'm just reading.
DeGrom in the first game of the day-night doubleheader and undecided in the second game.
I think he might win. Lenny Dykstra.
He's going against Brandon McCarthy, so he's got a shot.
Lenny Dykstra. What is wrong with this guy?
Lenny Dykstra's a man. You know what? I had this conversation with somebody on Twitter the other day. When you see Lenny Dykstra's name trending in Twitter, and I actually tagged Lenny Dykstra in this post. I was half expecting a maniacal response. But when you see Lenny Dykstra's name on Twitter, one of 2 things have happened. Either A, Lenny Dykstra has been arrested, or B, Lenny Dykstra is dead.
Yeah.
And that's a sad commentary, but tell me I'm wrong.
This guy was, in certain quarters, is still well-loved as a Met, but it's changed so much because of his criminal activity.
He's a mess. Plain and simple, he's a mess. It was said that he pulled a gun on an Uber driver. Now, the cops didn't find a gun, but they did find cocaine, marijuana, ecstasy. Lenny Dykstra's a walking drugstore, and none of those drugs are good.
No.
They're all illegal. Marijuana maybe not for long, but it's still illegal.
Still illegal.
Lenny Dykstra, get it together.
Let's hope so. Quickly, soccer, brother.
Soccer, Real Madrid won the Champions League on Saturday with a 3-1 victory over your Liverpool, brother. I predicted the final score, by the way.
I don't remember that, but yes.
Gareth Bale came on as a substitute in the second half. Gareth Bale, one of the best players in the world, and Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane doesn't start him. I don't understand him. But he scored 2 goals, including a bicycle kick that broke a 1-1 tie and might have been the best goal I've ever seen live in my life.
Okay.
That's how good it was. It was unbelievable. All right? Now, Bale has been rumored to be leaving Real Madrid because he still wants to play on a regular basis, and he wasn't doing that this season, although his price probably went up by a good $20 or $30 million, if not more, based on this one game. So I'm kind of wishing that they would have left him on the bench because Tottenham, my Tottenham, is a rumored landing spot for Gareth Bale. So we'll have to see what happens with that coming up in the next few weeks because the transfer window is open and business already is being done. Bale, there was a rumor about him going to Manchester United to play for Jose Mourinho, but Bale has made it very, very clear he wants none of that.
Okay.
So Tottenham is very possible, especially with the new stadium opening. You got to make a big splash with the new stadium.
Of course.
He's the way to do it. Speaking of Tottenham, manager Mauricio Pochettino signed a 5-year extension a couple days ago. Takes him through 2023. DC United of MLS is in talks to bring former Manchester United and England star Wayne Rooney to the club. Rooney played for Everton this season. Didn't exactly do so well. MLS Red Bulls had a 0-0 draw with Philadelphia Union, but they are rated as the number 1 team in ESPN's MLS Power Ratings for the second week in a row, even though they are 7-3-1 in 11 games and actually in 4th place. That's one person's opinion about who the best team in the league is.
That's what
Power ratings
Tim
are.
Leonard do that?
Like power ratings, they have it for baseball too. The Yankees are number 1 in the power ratings.
Why doesn't Tim Leonard do that?
I could if you want.
Do it.
And Brandy Chastain.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see
my
that?
God.
Was elected to the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, and had a plaque that looks nothing like her.
It's like they took another person's leftover plaque and then used it.
It looked. I've heard comparisons to Babe Ruth, to Mickey Rooney. Now, Brandy Chastain is an attractive woman.
Oh,
I
yeah.
covered Brandy Chastain